Hi everyone, welcome back to Vedic Life Coaching. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to the Numerology Outlook for 2026. 2026 is going to be a number 1 year. Number 1 represents the sun as per Vedic numerology. I'm going to talk you through that. I've got news articles to share with you this time. There are going to be jump links in the description below. So what I recommend that you do is click around in the jump links. You will be able to get straight to the bit of information that you want. And before you dive into your mini report this time, I do recommend that you click on the link that will say something like how to calculate your year number. I will have instructions on how to calculate that number so you know which number to click on for you, okay? Definitely look at the description. You will find all the links there. If you would like to stick around for the introduction, I'm going to talk through 2025 and we're going to recap the 9 year. We have come to completion. We are completing the 9-year cycle and we finished that in 2025. So I've got 3 news articles that I want to talk you through, and then I'll talk briefly about the 2026 year for the collective from a number 1 sun perspective. Okay, so let's take a look at 2025. We have ended a Mars year, a number 9 Mars year. Now I'm recording this on the 31st of December, on the very last day of the year, and I'm probably going to launch this maybe, if not tomorrow on Thursday, then definitely on Friday. So happy new year. You will be watching this in the new year. So yeah, I'm recording this with a little bit of Mars energy, but it's going to be all about the sun. And I am wearing yellow, and we do have a bit of a setting sun here in London, so I should hurry up while the sun is still out. But yeah, we are ending a number 9 Mars year. So when we're in a 9 Mars year, what are we looking for? Well, we're looking for completion. We're looking for things that end. We're also looking at conflict. We're also looking at heroes as well. Okay, so in terms of conflict, there has been a lot of conflict over the past year, a lot of it. And I have covered and talked about that over the year, so I don't need to go into any of all of that again. But when people look at Mars, and when they're looking at Mars from a predictive point of view, they are looking for things like war, danger, explosions, things that go wrong, conflict, tension, all this type of thing, territory, people defending territory, all that. So I did just want to point out a news item that I haven't talked about yet, and that is the tension between Thailand and Cambodia. I did not know about this at all, but when I had a look at the weeks where this was happening, this did coincide with some of the tension that I think I would have pointed out either in the November episode or the December episode. I have been talking about it over the last little while, and this tension has flared up at that time. When it comes to heroes, we've definitely had a hero emerge. Ahmed Al-Ahmed in Bondi, Sydney, Australia. He saved so many lives, and he stepped in and he decided, I'm going to stop the attack. How incredible. And I really think that God worked through that man that day. The next news item that I want to talk about is this guy. His name is Carl Bushby, and this is a British man who has made it his mission to walk around the world, as it says here on CBS News. Now this is a 4-minute video, and I recommend watch it. It is fascinating and it's very inspiring. It says here that this video got 4 million views a month ago, and I can see why. It's really incredible. This man just decided to walk around the world. It's got here, a British man who has made it his mission to walk around the world is about to finish the Odyssey 27 years after it began. And that's what made me click on the video, because it said 27 years. Now, when you add up 2 plus 7, what do you get? You get 9. and 9 is a completion energy. So he's completing a walk around the world in a 9 year for a start, and it took him 27 years to do it. So when we're looking at numerology, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for repeating patterns. We're looking for like the echo within the echo within the echo, right? You just see everywhere you look. It's like, oh, it's a number 9, it's a number 9, it's number 9. So it's incredible, right? That he has done this walk around the world. Now, when I watched that, I thought, could I do this? And there is no way. Because my first thought was, where do you go to the bathroom? Like, that was my genuine thing, and it just shows what a luxury person I am. I need a bathroom. I couldn't do this. There's no way. Like, yeah, it blows my mind that people do incredible things like that. When he's interviewed, I think the interviewer does ask him something about, could you give us some advice? You know, you're such an inspirational person. Please give us some advice. And the two things that struck me, I think he said, don't be afraid. That's kind of obvious, but this one I really liked. He said, get off the couch. I just thought, yeah, that's good Mars kind of advice. And it got me to think about what is a hero. And I think a hero, now that I've studied astrology so much, I've discovered that a hero is just someone who does something. If you do it, that's great. You know, and I think that's what J.K. Rowling was told that. She consulted a psychic when she was writing Harry Potter. Now, you might want to Google search on this because I'm really pulling this out from my memory, and I heard this story many, many years ago, but I'm pretty sure I've got this right. She was told by the psychic that if you do it, so if you publish this book, it will be huge. But she had to do it, right? So it's this thing, like, you have to do it. And that's Mars. Mars, what is heroic about Mars? Well, that they do it. And it's not so much the thing that they do, but it's that they do it. That's what I've discovered about Mars. The next news article that I've got is this one about this English couple who took in a homeless guy, and he ended up living with them for 45 years. It's an incredible story. And as I read through it, I was just really struck by the love. To me, this is an incredible love story. And this is something of divine love. It's really amazing. So now this young couple, they had just got married. And then I think a few years after getting married, there's a knock on the door, and it's this man. And well, they end up just inviting him in, and he ends up staying with them for 45 years. Now, nobody planned that it was going to be 45 years long. But this was the portion that really struck me, and I'll just read this. The couple said towards the end of the article, people say to us, how did it happen? 45 years. But the honest truth is, in some ways, it happened a day at a time. And I love that line, because I think that's how good marriages are made. You know, it's like, I've heard that people who have a great marriage, they know that it could end any day type thing. So they're grateful for the days that they have. And yeah, I like these very long things that happen, but you never intended for it to be that long. It's like there's something of God operating throughout this story. I really, really like the story at hand there. Oh, it is starting to get dark here. Do you know, I feel like I am going to have to turn a light on. I think I will. Let's do that, because we're going to need some light. It's a sun year. There we go. I think that's better. Wow, I can't believe how quickly, it's 4:15. I know it's very English to keep commenting on the fact that, what, it's dark at 4 o'clock? But it is. It's crazy. How is it so dark? It's only 4 o'clock. Okay, let's keep going here. What else have I got? Have I got anything else? Oh yes, let's talk about this. I think I've covered everything. Another thing that was also very godly in this story, I do have this in my notes here, was that when the man died, I think his name was Ronnie in the story, when he died, there was a local well-being centre that was doing renovations and repairs, and they were going to rename itself after Ronnie. as a tribute to him, because he really did a lot for the homeless people, and he himself was homeless. You see, he's a very 8th house kind of a guy. I think, as I was reading the article, I thought here's somebody who's attained moksha. I did think that. I'll get to why in a moment. I mean, well, this is one of the reasons. The Wellbeing Center was getting renovated, and they were going to put his name on the center, and they needed money. They didn't have enough to complete the project. And when his will, they looked at his will and they discovered, oh wow, he has left to the penny the exact amount of money that the Wellbeing Center needed. I mean, isn't that incredible? I was so impressed by that, to hear that, he had left all of his money to charity, and it was exactly the amount that the Wellbeing Center needed. That is significant, because I've often seen things like that happen in people's lives, and especially in the lives of my clients, where, they had this random bill, and how are they going to pay it? And then something happens where they get that exact amount of money that they need, to the penny. And I often tell my clients that God lives in precision, not in excess, and not in lack. So that's also another thing that I felt was significant about the story of Ronnie. You've got to read the story to know what I'm talking about here. But anyway, let's take a look at the energy of 2026. What do we have coming up for the collective? Well, it's a number 1 year, so this is a year that will be ruled by the sun. The sun stands alone. The sun in the planetary cabinet is the king. The sun shines. This is great for self-expression, great for creativity. It's the ruler of the 5th house Leo. It's the seat of creativity, children, the kingdom, wealth as well. People being noble, people being good, people being godlike. So there are a lot of positive qualities to the sun. I've got here, in terms of a number 1 year that is the sun, what can we look for? Well, this is a year of new beginnings. It's a powerful time to start new things. It's so interesting. I tried to start new things last year, and my various attempts, it never happened. I wasn't able to start those new things that I wanted to start. Other things kept coming up, and some of those other things that kept coming up, they did involve the energy of closure. So yeah, I feel like it really was a 9 year for me last year. This could be a year where you reinvent yourself as well. So maybe you shine in a new way. Maybe, you look back at the last 9 years and you were a certain way, but now you want to be different. This could be that kind of year. This could also be a year where you meet new influential people in your life, or you catch the attention of higher up people who are in a position to help you, that kind of thing. The other thing is that the energy is dry. And when the energy is dry, you can do a lot. So physical energy should be good this year. And there should be flow and ease, this should be unhindered type thing. I've got here, this should be good for physical energy as well. And I have the phrase, make hay while the sun shines, right? That's such a classic line for the sun. Make hay while the sun shines. While it's out, you can do a lot of work. And I've got here, a lot of people will be able to make a lot of money this year as well. So it's good for earning, it's good for working, doing things, getting things done. Now, what about negative qualities of the sun, and how could this year go badly? Well, ego has to be kept in check. So ego can be inflamed across a year like this. People can be very self-centered during the year, and I mean that is something that we're seeing anyway over the last many years, and especially in psychology, that whole narcissist empath thing, hasn't that been huge across the last few years? So people could be very self-centered during this year. And I've also got here that war is an energy. the energy of war, yes, it's here still. War is an energy that will continue through this year. The sun exalts in Aries, and Aries is very much about war, war and territory and things like that. The other thing I've discovered through my astrological studies is that war and royalty are strongly connected. And you can see that in particular when you look at the chart of Queen Elizabeth II. She has an exalted sun in the 5th house, and she has an exalted Mars in the 2nd house. And the exalted Mars is conjunct Jupiter as well. And when you look at, second house is family. She's got Capricorn there. So it's like the firm is her family. The whole country is her family, which is so interesting. It's a lot of people because Jupiter's there, making the energy here huge, and that's an exalted Mars in the 2nd house. And yeah, Capricorn, it's like an institution is her family, which is just so incredibly fascinating. And I'm just remembering interviews by Prince Harry where did he call her Granny? And he would say that Granny was the commander-in-chief of the army. She was in charge of the British Army, and that's something that I'm realizing, the connection between war and royalty. It is completely interlinked. They go together, which I didn't realize before. I didn't realize before my astrological studies. I thought they were two separate things, royalty and military. I thought were just kind of two separate things, and they're not at all. They're very, intertwined, the one thing. And Queen Elizabeth's chart is the chart that shows that the best. So let's have a look here. War, yeah, it's interesting that we end up talking about the possibility of war here. I mean, I think war will continue across the next 9 years, and how I see it happening is that, and I was chatting with someone about this today, that, the hierarchies are, so like back in the 80s, Michael Jackson was the most famous person in the world, and everybody knew his name. Like the hierarchy was sort of narrow like this because everybody just had TV, right? So he was the most famous person in the world. And now that hierarchy is sort of flattening, because we've got all these other channels. We've got YouTube, and we've got Netflix, and we've got Sky, and we've got all these other platforms. We've got Rumble, and we've got, all these various channels and ways of consuming content. Now it's like we don't have any one person that's so world famous in the way that Michael Jackson was, or Princess Diana. Like, we don't have an equivalent. Like, does everyone know Catherine Middleton? No, I don't think everyone does. Whereas everyone knew Princess Diana. And Princess Diana was of that TV sort of, that TV landscape where there were just a few ways of getting information. And so that hierarchy, that pyramid was sort of high. But how I see it now is that is shrunk, and there's lots of different ways of getting information. And so, you'll have fame has changed completely. The landscape of fame has changed completely. And I think in a similar way, now we're talking about fame because of the 5th house, the sun. So let's talk about war. In the similar way, with war, I feel like, because someone had asked me, and I wonder if that wonderful young man is watching. Hello, if you are. He'd asked me about, will there be World War III, say, for example, in 2031? Now, that's a really interesting question. That's what got me thinking about war. And it got me thinking about how the hierarchy has flattened, kind of thing. And so what I think will happen with war is the same thing as what has happened to fame. So with war, I think war will continue, but it won't be as big scale. It will be smaller scale in lots more places. And like we had war at Bondi, do you know what I mean? And never in a million years would I imagine that something like that could happen just in my, place where I used to hang out. And friends of mine and I were talking, and we were like, oh, we know that little bridge. Like, yeah, when my friend mentioned the little bridge, and I was like, yeah, I know, the little bridge. Like, yeah, we all walk on that. And it's like, it's so crazy. But that's what I think is going to happen to war. Say, for example, over the next 9 years, that it won't be as big scale in that old way that it was. It'll be smaller but more spread out, or something along these lines is kind of what I'm thinking. In the same way that, we don't have anyone like Michael Jackson or Princess Diana. Fame doesn't happen like that anymore. The young people today, like Zoe Sugg, well, she can walk around Brighton and some people know who she is, but she'll walk around most cities and people won't know. So, but yet she's got 10 million or however many millions followers, right? That's huge. It's a huge achievement. But yeah, I think fame has changed a lot over the last many years. And in the same way that we don't have just one figure, if you know what I mean, and we have all these outlets of news and things like that, I think a similar thing with war, that there'll be sort of, there will still be war across the next 9 years. Now, as I say, somebody asked me, will there be World War III in 2031? And I've just got the years written here. 2031 is a 6-year. There could be. There could be some kind of war type thing that's very significant there. Also, I think 2033 will be a very tense year. That's an 8-year. And 2034 will be a very tense year. And as for from 2026, say for example, through to 2030, I mean, that could be, I think war will just continue, but in a smaller outbreak sort of a way. A bit like, the stock market. People are really worried about a huge crash, and there being something like the Depression. And what I'm observing is that, yes, there's a lot of tension about a huge, massive crash, but I've been observing this since 2017. And I've been seeing 2016, 2017, I've been observing this. There's a lot of fear and tension about it, but it never happens. And what I have been seeing is there'll be like a short, sharp fall, but the recovery is very quick. And I have seen, we did see someone like Sam Bankman-Fried. He became wildly rich, but then he completely lost everything. And I think things like that will happen, where certain individuals will totally lose everything. If you're due to lose everything, this is a karmic plane that will make that happen for you. It's like if you're if you have to have a certain experience, this earthly karmic plane can make that happen for you. So, the best way to avoid catastrophe is just keep being on the spiritual path. Keep striving for good, no matter what. Keep doing the right thing, and you will lessen your karma, if not clear it. That is for sure. I've seen that in the lives of my clients a lot, that they do their spiritual work, and when you do this kind of work, you become healthier and you can dodge a lot of problems. So hopefully I've kind of covered everything, whatever I wanted to say here. But I do think, when it comes to war and things like that, I do think that that's still a part of this karmic plane. I don't think that's going anywhere. And what war is, the other thing about war is I think it's becoming more sophisticated. It's becoming more subtle. It's, if say for example, I don't know for sure, but let's say for example they're putting chemicals in the sky, or they're tampering with the soil. You can listen to someone like Vandana Shiva, and she talks a lot about all these kind of things. And yeah, the tampering of soil it's disastrous for our physical bodies, because it means that our plants aren't getting the nutrients, and then we aren't getting the nutrients. I was sick from 2020 to 2023, and I discovered, I was quite badly sick, and I discovered that iodine supplements really helped me. So when I studied into, okay, why have I not been getting iodine naturally? That's when I did the research, and I discovered, I'm not getting it naturally because it's not even in the soil. So, there's all kinds of warfare going on. There's psychological warfare, there's chemical warfare. It's all becoming more technical and abstract and complicated, and yeah, all of that. So, this is a planet of attack. There's plenty of it. But, if you don't want to be involved in attack, don't do attack, and then you won't have to deal with attack. I do think it works that way. You can clean up your own energy field and not encounter these things very much. I really do believe in that. All right, guys, well, let's take a look at, I'm going to start a new memory card, and then we're going to get into this, and we're going to talk through all the numbers. I'm excited to do this, so let's have a look. Now, before taking a look at your mini report this time, and you only have to watch one because you will just have one number from this little exercise. So all you have to do is calculate your year number. Now, to do that, you just need your date and month, and that's it. You do not need the year. So just follow these instructions here, which is to add up the days in the date, add up the month numbers, and you will get a number, and then you take that number and you add 1 and you get your year. Okay, now if this feels complicated, I've got an example of Albert Einstein. Let's take a look at this wonderful example. Okay, Albert Einstein was born on 14th of March. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add this 14, so that's 1 plus 4, plus, now I've written here 0 plus 3, but you could just add 3, and then you get 8. Okay, so that's these numbers added up here, that comes to 8. And to get your year number, you're going to add plus 1. And that is going to give you the number to watch in this video. So if Albert Einstein was watching this video, he would click on 9. He's having a 9 year. All right, so hopefully now you have got your number. You can always click pause on these slides and read it carefully and add. And if you need to use a calculator, there's no calculator shaming here. I myself am the kind of person who could easily need a calculator to do. Honestly, 1 plus 1, I would use a calculator for that. Okay, let's get into the numerology reports. Let's go. Welcome, number 1. Are you going to have a number 1 numerology year? If you are, then you are in the right place. So I'm just going to talk through what I see here. I don't have any notes on my screen whatsoever. I'm just going to talk about what kind of a year this could be for you. So I've got the symbol of the sun. It's a sun number 1 year, and you are having a sunny number 1 year. How fantastic. So straight away, I can tell you that you're very lucky, because every single year you are always in sync with the year. Okay, so that is fantastic. You have got that kind of setup. So this year we've got a number 1 year. The next time you're going to have a number 1 year will be in 2035. Okay, and the last time you had a number 1 new year was in 2017. So think back to 2017 and think about what new beginnings started for you in 2017. And that will give you an idea of what's possible for you in this number 1 year here. Now, there are other things that you may like to factor in. If you know astrology, for example, you may like to factor in your Saturn position. It's good to factor in your Saturn position. Jupiter, it's good to factor in Jupiter. If you can factor in Rahu Ketu, that's very good as well. And I've got reports on all of these on this channel here. But the other thing I also want to say is that normally I always look at numerology together with Vedic astrology. So for me to be doing this just on its own, it is a little bit different for me, but I'll have a go here. All right, so now this is a sun year for you. So this really is a year of powerful new beginnings. You can start new things. Creativity, energy is great here. Earning, wealth, money, like doing lots, achieving lots, being creative, expressing yourself. This is that kind of year. Now, we start the year for you with a number 2 month. And I would say that the month of January could be a quiet month for you. That's a possibility. And this is the kind of year where you might like to, this is the kind of month, where you might like to rest a little bit. Rest and reflect. That is perfectly fine. If you want to, not do as much across January. If you feel like you need a later start to the year, that's perfectly fine. But now here's where you've got the sensational energy. It's here, across. It's here, across this period here. So from Feb to May, you've got a sensational run of power and energy where you can grow something. Growth, because we start here with Jupiter, number 3. So there's growth here and there's energy. There's creative energy. We've got Rahu here in March. So you could be innovating, you could be doing something new, you're growing something new. And we've got this, which is really the artist combination. We've got here Mercury and Venus. So you're being creative, clearly, from February through to May. Now, June could be a quieter month. This could be a month where you just need a bit of rest. You need to maybe assess what you're doing. It could be a little bit strategic, so you could be resting here. You could be having a holiday, wouldn't be a bad idea, especially, it's summertime and we've got these beautiful summer moons. So this could be a beautiful month. If you wanted to schedule in a holiday, that would be very appropriate because there's potentially a lot of work here. So let's say, for example, you're self-employed. This June could be a month where there's not as much client bookings or things like that, but then July and August, wow, you're busy. And I have looked at this in relation to my practice, and I have seen that, this stuff checks out really, really quite well. So I feel like you're really busy here, July and August. Busy, there's a lot of work, career, all of that is going on. Now September, we've got a number 1 month here for you. So that is going to be new beginnings. That could be romantic as well because it's followed by a number 2. So I am seeing that romance energy is potentially good here. New beginning, I'll just put it in here, new beginning. Romance as well. January is also good for romance as well, as is May for sure. May is a lovely romantic month, which is so nice if you're up here in the Northern Hemisphere because that's spring. So that is beautiful. So romantic energy in there in the month of May. Definitely around this September, October, that could be quite romantic there. And again, we've got this growth energy here happening November, December. Something is growing. And there's something about you following in December, you're following your North Star. you're doing something out of your comfort zone. So you're out of your comfort zone here. Here in December. But that is the kind of year ahead that I'm seeing. You can have a watch of this now. It might help you to plan ahead. So for example, if you're looking when to book a holiday, I would definitely book one maybe in June, maybe in September, October. I'm liking that kind of thing. Maybe more so September, because I'm thinking of the astrology and I'm thinking, I think October is not the best month for that. But I'm thinking June or September is looking really nice for the potential of a holiday. But this year, I do believe, is filled with growth, new beginnings, opportunities. It's a sun year, so you are meeting people of influence. Equally, you could be being a person of influence across this year. Happy New Year, number one people. Thank you so much for being here. We are now going to welcome number two. Numerology number two people. Welcome. I don't know how to do this. I've never done one of these videos before. My numerology two people. There we go. Welcome. Welcome number two. Now, we are in a sun year. So we're in a number 2 year, but we're in a sun year. And we've got the moon, okay? So this could be, yes, it could be a year full of new beginnings as per the sun, and it could be full of activity and creativity, and you're doing stuff and it's materializing and things are happening and it's very exciting. That is possible, but you've got a moon year in operation. So we can see that actually you had your number 1 year last year, which is quite an interesting thing, to have a number 1 personal year while the collective is having a number 9 year. So that was when you last had a number 1 year. You're next going to have a number 1 year in 2034, okay? But this year you're having a 2 year. Now what's the deal with the 2? Well, that's the moon, and that is, the moon is, it's a thing of receptivity. So you're receiving the light of the sun. So this could be a thing of you. So you are receiving. And maybe you're receiving a lot of divine guidance, a lot of divine ideas, a lot of divine creativity. Maybe you're getting a lot of new ideas. When I see these two together in a birth chart, when I'm looking at that, I'm looking at new ideas for sure. It's like a portal of new ideas. You've got a lot of new ideas coming in. So I think there is something about you capturing new ideas, definitely. So that's the moon there. Got here, receiving ideas. You're nurturing yourself, hopefully. Okay, you're going to need potentially time on your own, recharge time, quiet time, contemplation time, reflective time, all that. You're going to need some of that across this year. So we'll have a look at the year, the build of the year, and what you can expect. So you actually start the year, I would say, a little bit busy, and you are growing something. Okay, we've got a number 3 here, which is all about growth. So there's growth energy here. And you're building something, you're growing something. I think you start kind of busy, actually. The year will be a bit busy. It won't be so quiet. Now, May could be a quiet month for you. Okay, this is potentially a very quiet month. Quiet month. I feel like there's not much happening in May. So if you wanted to book a holiday, or you wanted to book time out, or this could be a month where you are letting go, you're assessing something and you're deciding, do you know what, I don't want to do that thing anymore. I'm going to phase that out and I'm going to get clear some space because I need to do something new. Maybe you're changing direction at this May 7 month. You could be changing direction. It's a spiritual month. It's a contemplative month. What else is 7? It's a good time to be spiritual, to go inwards. and not to be so outwardly focused, I think is how I would say that. Now, June and July, this is a busy time for you. So you're really busy. You're working hard. Okay, so this could be a summer where you're working hard. And then you've got a real new beginning here in August. So there's a new beginning. Something new is happening in August. September could be moon-like. So that could be where you're nurturing yourself, you're reflective. Feminine energy is here. This could also be quite romantic. I've also got here April could be a romantic month. Now that we're talking about romance. And then again, you're on another growth path from October onwards, where you're engaged, you're busy, you're growing out in the world. You're materializing something. Growth, materializing. Busy possibly, but not as busy as, look, I've put an exclamation point there. Yeah, you're really busy across the summer. I do see that. So if you've got downtime in May, just enjoy it, because you've got a bit of visibility here. You can see that June and July are probably going to be quite busy. Okay, and then August onwards, you've got some new beginning, something new is starting up there. I hope this is a good framework for your year ahead. Number 2, let me know in the comments below how you got on. I'd love to hear from you. And we are now going to welcome number 3. Number 3, welcome. How are we doing on time? Okay, I better move it along. What have we got going on? So number 3, so this is a Jupiter year. All right, so we got Jupiter here. Now, when I see this combination in a chart, this is often a thing of distinguished people, or people in a class above you, or people who are higher up, or people who are in some position of power. So either you are expanding to be in that position of power this year, or you are meeting more people like this, or you're going to be recognized by people, or you're expanding, you're going up. So this could also be, this could be like your, there's something about your status in life is going to be expanded, or you're going up, or you're interacting with people who are above you, or you're becoming that person, or something along these lines. All right, so let's take a look. Now, when was the last time you personally had a number 1 year? Well, you had a number 1 year in 2024. So you might want to think back to 2024 and think, okay, what number 1 type events happened there? What new beginnings happened for me in 2024? So have a think about that. Your next number 1 year is going to happen for you in 2033. So that's just something to bear in mind. But right now you're in a 3 year. So we're looking at Jupiter. We're looking at expansion. You're growing. New things are happening for you. And this could be to do with your reputation, your status, who you interact with, all that kind of thing. You could really be meeting very influential people this year. So we start the year busy, I would say. You are hopefully following your North Star. Maybe you're going out of your comfort zone in some way, or you're pursuing something new right at the start of the year, quite possibly. And you're working, you're busy, you're being creative. This is a work energy. March could be a romantic month for you, so that is nice in there. That is a lovely month there. Now, April could be a time of, I just had the word stop. You're stopping something, or you're reassessing. You could be reassessing something. Reassessing. Sorry, that's not, well, you know what I've just said. Don't just look at this. It's messy. You're stopping something maybe in April. You're reassessing something. You're looking at the activity of your life and you're going, do you know what? I don't want to do that thing anymore. That's got to go. I need to focus. I need to clear space. I need to do some new thing. Okay, so you could be starting some new thing there. Equally, you could be going within. At this month, your focus might not be So outward, you might be turning within, you might be being more spiritual. It could just be time for rest as well. Maybe you're able to take a holiday. Maybe it works out that that's a time where you have a holiday, or you go somewhere, or you change the scene or something along those lines. Now, May and June, this is a very busy time. So you're busy and you're working, okay? You're working hard and you're getting everything ready for a new beginning in July. This is your month of new beginnings. Some significant new beginning could be happening in the month of July. August here could be a lovely romantic month, romantic or nurturing month. It could be quieter, it could be reflective. And then you're busy here. September, right through to the end of year, you are very busy. You're working growth. So life is growing. Growth, busy, all that kind of thing. Yeah, I can see that you're busy. It's very interesting. Group number 3, numerology number 3. This is a time of expansion for you, because as I say, when we look at the number 1 here, it's like you had a number 1 year, 2024, and then 2025. This might have been a reflective year for you. It might have been a quiet year, and now is your time for growth. And the beautiful thing is that when we look at the Vedic astrology, there's a lot. We've got exalted Jupiter, and that's going to be aspecting Saturn, and so this is a very promising year, especially for you here. All right, well, thank you so much, number 3. We are now going to welcome number 4. Number 4, welcome. So when was the last time you had a number 1 year? Well, you actually had a number 1 year in 2023, and your next number 1 year is going to be 2032. But right now you are having a 4 year. And a 4 year is, so yes, it's a sun year, but this is Rahu. That's not a very good looking Rahu. Let's do a better one. There we go. All right, so what's the deal with a Rahu year? Okay, now, this is ambition, and this is great. Be ambitious, I say. I say be ambitious, take yourself out of your comfort zone, try for things that you normally wouldn't try for. Put yourself in situations where you just think they would never take me. Try it, okay, or whatever it is, like for a job or something, or even if it seems outlandish, try. Just try. That's what Rahu does. Rahu is desire, ambition. You go for it. You try. You take yourself out of the comfort zone, and you do something that might have scared you in a previous year. Okay, so this is that kind of year. Let's have a look here. So what have we got? How are you starting the year? Well, it's kind of mercurial and creative, and we've got Venus here, we've got Mercury, we've got Venus. So this could be quite creative, actually. Your Feb could be very romantic. This is a very romantic month here. This could be, I'll just write busy, but it's in a mercurial, sort of an admin type way for January. But February is a romantic month for you. We've got number 6 there. Now March could be a month where you are stopping, or you are assessing, you're assessing things, reassessing, or you're creating space. You're looking at things, the activity of your life, and you're going, okay, I really tried at that thing, but it's not yielding results, so I'm going to stop that, and I'm going to create space, and I'm going to start this new thing. So that's what you could be using March to do. And then April, May, you're really busy. You're working hard. Okay, so this is busy with an exclamation point. And then we've got a number 1 new beginnings month right here in June. So we got new beginnings here. July could be reflective, could be romantic, could be a month that you just want to nurture yourself. So that is a good month to do that. In fact, I would say July could be a really good month for a holiday. Because that's like a moon, that's got a moon vibe. It feels like maybe you need some time out to nurture yourself. And that would be a nice place to do that. Equally, March could be a place where you take a holiday as well, if that works out and is appropriate. But July is a nice sort of holiday type month. And then we've got a superb stretch of energy here from August through to November, where you're growing something. You're growing this new thing in your life, or there's growth, or yes, there's some growth happening here. And December, the perfect rest and relaxation month. This could not be more perfect, actually. I just love that. Rest, relaxation. It's perfect to have a number 7 there for December, because that is a quiet month generally anyway. So you've got that set up absolutely perfect there. Number 4 is looking like a great year ahead. I'm wishing you a happy new year. We are now going to take a look at number 5. Number 5, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So the last time you had a number 1 year was in 2022. And the next time you're going to have a number 1 year is in 2031. So think back to 2022 and think about what new beginnings happened at that time for you. Did you create something new? What was it that happened in 2022 that would class as a new beginning for you? So that was your new beginning year personally. But right now you're in a 5-year, so that is Mercury. So we've got a Sun year for the collective, but we've got Mercury for you personally. All right, so this Mercury year is going to be, there's going to be a speed here. You're going to have to maneuver quickly. You're going to have to think on your feet. You're going to be busy. It'll be good for you to be logical. It'll be good for you to use your intelligence and your logic, your communication skills, all that kind of thing. That is going to be good for you. Now, you actually start the year with romantic energy here in January. So this is actually quite romantic, I would say. Feb could be an interesting month because it could be a really quiet month where you don't do much. It could be a month. Sorry, I keep saying year when I mean month. I've done that so many times in this video already. It's a quiet month here. It's like, and this is a good month for you to assess and make space. Maybe you want to make space in your life. So assess your activities and decide, you know what, that thing is just, it's not fulfilling me anymore. I've got to stop doing it and I'm going to start doing this. Or I'm creating space so that I get inspired to do something new or different or something like that. Now, March and April is busy, okay? Busy, busy, busy. You are working hard here. The grind is on. You are working and busy. Now, May is your new beginning month. So a brand new beginning is happening in the month of May. All right, and this could be romantic as well. This is, do you know, for you, number 5 is quite a romantic year because there's quite a lot of opportunities here for romance. Because look at that, you got again romance happening in October. Wow, well, this is quite a romantic year for you, number 5. I will tell you that. We've got romance in here as well. Now, by romance, guys, I just mean love with people, friends, family. You may meet someone new, all of that. So whatever romance means for you. Okay, now growth. Where is the growth happening? These months are growth months where the new beginning has come in May, and now something is growing across July, August and September. Growth. And you've got a lovely uninterrupted stretch there. I mean, it really does keep growing through to October. And then you've got a number 7 month in November. So this is also a quiet month. It's quite interesting. You've got 2 quiet months in here. I haven't seen anyone else have that so far. So you've got 2 quiet months in here. That could be a time of rest or holiday or travel. So, I mean, would you be having a holiday in Feb? Maybe not, but in November, yes. But I would also say take extra care if you travel around that time, because I vaguely remember, as per the Vedic astrology, I'm not sure if that's a good time to be traveling. Check my other reports. I've done lots of stuff on all that. And then, yeah, December, you're working hard. So you're working in here. This could be a month where you decide, you know, I don't want to go anywhere in November, but I just want to not do as much and schedule in some me time, reassess. You might want to stop an activity there. You might want to create space for something new. So that could be a month where you're creating space in there. But it's looking really good, number 5. It's looking like it's looking busy at times, but you do interestingly have you have 2 break periods here. Because if I look, let's just look at these, they have 2. Oh yeah, they do have 2 actually. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good you've got 2 months, sort of at the beginning of the year and at the very end. That's quite nice where you've got all that positioned. And you've got like the bulk of the activity in here, like that is all pretty busy. Yeah, that is all pretty busy from March to October. That's quite a stretch of activity. Wow, that's quite cool, number 5. Thank you so much for being here. We are now going to welcome number 6. Number 6, welcome, thank you so much for being here. So, the last time you had a number 1 year was in 2021. You're going to have a number 1 year again in 2030. But as for what is your year this year, you are running a 6 year. So a 6 year is, we've got the sun and then we're going to have Venus. So this year is all about love. And it's all about self-love, self-esteem, self-worth, feeling good about being you. Okay, this is a feel-good year. It could include romance. You know, you might meet a romantic partner, very true. But this could just be you feeling great about you, and that's it. So we start the month, January, with a quiet month actually. So this is quite quiet. So if you feel like you need a later start to the year, then take it. Because Feb and March, these are very, very busy months. Okay, so if your January is very quiet, that you are blessed. Okay, that's great. This is a lovely way to start the year. Here though, Feb, March, you're very busy. All right, so just bear that in mind. Now, your new beginning is coming in here. So this is the month that contains a potential new beginning. And then we've got a terrific stretch of energy. I would say even, yeah, I sort of want to say right through to here. Wow, the bulk of the year, I think you are busy and you're being creative and something is growing. Definitely like from June onwards, things are really growing. There's a lot of growth, momentum, work. There's a lot happening. September is potentially a romantic month. And then October is another month of rest. Or you're stopping, you're reassessing, you're going to create space for something different or new to happen in your life. And then we've got a very busy end to the year. You're very busy here. A lot of hard work, and you know, you're completing the year. Maybe there are some endings happening at the very end of the year, which would actually be fantastic. That's quite ideal. So some endings happening in there. But it's quite stunning to have the bulk of the activity. If we have a look, it's like all of that is pretty busy from Feb to September. You know, you're quiet here in January, a little bit quiet here in October, and then very busy again here. November, December. Very interesting, number 6. Thank you so much for joining. We are now going to welcome number 7. Number 7, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Now, number 7, when was the last time you had a number 1 year? You had a number 1 year in 2020. There would have been some new beginnings that would have happened for you there. That's really difficult actually to contemplate, because that was such a difficult year for the collective, where it just felt like there were giant endings absolutely everywhere, wasn't it? But you had a number 1 year there, so I don't know if there were any new beginnings that happened for you. I will tell you, in 2020, while for so many of my clients things were really difficult, I did have a handful of clients who they were getting new jobs, promotions. Yeah, there were some extraordinary things happening as well. So I know a lot of people started businesses in 2020. So there were new beginnings happening in 2020. But if you think back to 2020 and are like, there was no new beginning for me, I completely understand that. The world was in chaos and a different place. So just take that with a pinch of salt. But 2029 is your next number 1 year, and you are currently in a 7 year. So as per our system, we have got, now how do I draw Ketu? It's like that. There we go. It's a funny looking Ketu. Let's do a better one. There we go. Right, so we've got a Ketu year here. So this is a year where it might be a little bit difficult to materialize things, I will tell you. It could be a year where you're kind of working underground and you're building like a root system underground. Okay, so when we're building a root system underground, there's no shoots come up just yet. So nothing material as yet, but you're working very, very hard. You know, so you could be working hard and, you know, results aren't so visible, but you could also be going within. You could also be reassessing your life as well. You could be reassessing direction. You could be reassessing whatever you've been doing actually over the last, yes, this is a 7 year. You could be reassessing the last 7 years and kind of go, do I want to keep doing this? Is this still fulfilling me? Is this meaningful to me still? Do I love this enough to keep doing it for another 7 years? Like there is, even regardless of numerology or whatever, I have seen things happen in 7 year, like when there's a 7, there's a break. People stop. People, you know, they look back and they stop doing that work. I hope the fire alarm doesn't sound. I can hear it. It's next door. Okay. It's not going to sound here. Sometimes when the fire alarm sounds, all of the apartments go off. It is so annoying. Anyway, and it's a false alarm. So anyway, 2026. Yeah, it's like this could be a break point. This could be a break point where you look at the last 7 years and go, do you know what? I can't keep doing this. There could be something like that. Now that some of that heavy-duty reassessment, you might be doing that here at the start of the year, Jan and Feb. You could be really busy at the start of the year. You could be working hard, but you've got some kind of new beginning coming for you in March. Okay, so this is your new beginning month. And then April onwards, you've got this incredible stretch of growth, work, activity, growth, work, activity. Now, August is a romantic month for you. September could be a month where you're taking a holiday. And then you're working really hard again with a new beginning at the very end of the year again. New beginning in here. But you're working hard. October and November. Let's have a look at what else have we got. I kind of see you really busy sort of January through to August. It's like just you start the year with activity, and then September is a really great time to take a lot of rest if you can. Take the month if you can. I don't know if you can take the month off, but or a week or something off in September, maybe something along those lines. And then you've got another busy portion, sort of October to December. April could be a little bit romantic. We've got the moon there, so that's receptive and nurturing. So I'm going to mark that as romance. But really, I think August is a romantic month as well. Yeah. But I think this year, for you, number 7, this is a year of looking critically at the last 7 years and deciding what of these 7 years have you loved and would you like to keep doing? And what do you think, do you know what, I just can't keep doing this thing anymore. I've seen some YouTubers retire, and they're young people. They're in their 30s and stuff, but they're going, I just can't do this anymore. But yeah, I'm glad I'm not a YouTuber. See, my thing is astrology and coaching. That's what I do. I don't do YouTube. I'm just on here to do a little bit of service, But yeah, anyway. But it's that kind of thing where you look back at the activity of the last 7 years and you decide, yeah, I don't want to keep doing this anymore. September is a month that will really embody the energy of the year. So the energy of the year, you'll see it in the month of September. September's going to come along and just reinforce the whole year. That's going to be interesting. All right, well, thank you so much, number 7. We are going to welcome number 8. Number 8, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So, when was the last time you had a number 1 year? It was in 2019. Now, if you think back to 2019, what happened in that year that was brand new for you? And that will be interesting to think about because that was before the pandemic. And there might have been some new beginning that happened in that year. But then it might be that the pandemic happened, 2020 comes along and that was a number 2 year for you. So that could have been, your things became very quiet and you were isolated or, things changed. But there was this promising new beginning here in 2019. So what was that? I just want you to reflect and think back to that time and what was the new beginning there. You're going to have another number 1 new beginning in 2028. So that's just something to bear in mind. As for this year, you are in a number 8 year. All right, so let's talk about this. So we've got the Sun and we've got Saturn. Ooh, so Saturn is limitations. But this beautiful combination that you've got here of Sun and Saturn, that is, I always see that as the entrepreneur. And that is where you take something from zero and you build it and you make it sensational. So what is that thing that you are building? You have entrepreneurial energy this year. So you have the ability to build something. And this is a very special year in which you can make a lot of progress. I feel like you might be building something for your number 1 year. So 2028, this could be the year where you really take off. Okay? But in the next 2 years, you're building up. All right, so that's something to bear in mind. Let's take a look at this year in terms of the months. So you do start the year quite busy. Wow, I feel like you're busy. I feel like you're busy right through to about August. So there is a lot going on. January could be really busy and you could be closing out a lot of cycles. You could need to organize. You're getting ready and you're getting ready for this number 1 new beginning. There's a new beginning happening in Feb. All right, so we got a new beginning here. March is a lovely month for romance, by the way, in case you're able to fit that in. Who knows? You've got a Saturnian year here, so you might not be fitting in too much romance, but maybe March is a good month. Let's see, now what's growing? You're growing something here. From April to June, growth, okay? So that new beginning that happened here in Feb, you're growing it. April, May, June, and July. July could be a romantic month as well. So there is romance in here, which is great. 7 is an excellent month for a holiday. Okay, if you need to take a holiday or a break, or you want to stop, you want to reassess, you want to stop an activity, clear space, make space, get ready for something new, August is a very good month for that. And then boom, you're busy again. Wow, look at that. That's really busy in here. September, October, busy, right? And you've got a lovely new beginning again towards the end of the year. So November is a new beginning in there. And then December is like a restful, nurturing, moon reflective sort of a month. So that's quiet and reflective. That's ideal. Quiet and reflective. December. That's looking like a beautiful year to me, number 8. And don't be put off by the fact that it's Saturn. You're working with the taskmaster. He'll make you work hard, but it's going to be worthwhile. You'll see. Saturn is, I believe, the best planet. Even though Venus is the most fun. But yeah, Saturn's pretty cool too. All right. Thank you so much. They're all wonderful. I should never say I have a favorite. They're all listening as well. It's okay. I love you all. All right. Well, thank you so much, number 8. We are now going to welcome number 9. Number 9. Welcome, number 9. So you're having a 9 year in the number 1 collective year. All right. So this is quite a combo. Let's take a look. So when was the last time you had a number 1 year? You had a number 1 year in 2018. So think back to 2018. What happened? What was the new beginning? Do you remember? Think back. Think when that was. I'm not this number, but you know, interestingly, I started my channel in 2018. So that would be, yeah, but I'm not a 9-year person. But anyway, let's have a look here. So now my channel started coinciding with the start of my Mahadasha. So there was an astrological event that kicked that whole thing off, yeah. There'll always be something. All right, let's see. 2018 was a number 1 year for you. Now your next number 1 year is 2027. Okay, so in this year, number 9 year for you, okay, this is a Sun, Mars. Yeah. Look at all this dry, fiery energy. Wow, this is a powerful combination. You're going to, my God, you're going to be a powerhouse. You can achieve a lot this year. But just be conscious that it is a number 9 year for you personally. So you actually are running 2 things simultaneously. You're running number 1 energy of the Sun. So there are new beginnings happening in here. But you personally, you've got a 9 here. You could be closing things out. So, and it could be that, you know, the moment you close something out, a new beginning materializes. You close something out, oh, there's another new beginning. You have the possibility for multiple new beginnings, I think. Especially if, yeah, you're also able to close things out. Your new beginning year is really happening next year. So it could be that you're working to get things ready so that your launch year for stuff is next year. You might be launching stuff next year. So I'm going to put the word launch for 2027. Launch new things here. But wow, do you have the physical energy to achieve a lot this year. That's what I'm excited for. Oh, it's so interesting. The battery is flashing. Need to put in a new battery. Look at that, the battery's ending. So yeah, we've got the energy here. We've got, I'm going to have to put in a fresh energy. You'll see, I'll be back in a moment. So look at that. We're in your energy and have to refresh the physical energy. Yeah, but the battery was charged and ready to go. Like that took no time. Sometimes I don't have a fresh battery. And here I'm so organized. I've got loads, they're all lined up. So I feel like that's for you. Like there's like a There's speed, you've got the energy, you've got the physical energy. Even if you have to stop, you can start again. It won't be hard. You will find the energy. It will all happen. This is all great. I really love the setup that you've got here. Now, you're starting the year with just that new beginning, boom, right at the start of the year. Look at that. So we've got a new beginning in here. And then you go for it. Wow, you're all go right through to about July. So now if you want to take a holiday in July, that's a good time. Holiday, relax. Maybe you're stopping an activity. Maybe you're clearing space for something new. Okay, so that could be in July. June could be romantic energy. So too could Feb. Oh, Feb, absolutely. Yeah, you've got the moon there. Okay, and that's like a Valentine's Day thing there. So yeah, that's like romantic in there. Romantic energy. And then there's just growth though, really, for the early part of the year. I mean, you're growing something, you're doing something, you're busy. Then you're really busy in here, August, September, working hard. And then another new beginning in October. You've got a reflective month here in November. And then you've got more expansion happening at the end of the year. And that's actually really, really perfect that Jupiterian energy is happening in December. Something is growing, and it's growing right in time for your 2027, which should be a very exciting year for you because that's your #1 year. So growth is happening in December. So that growth energy is going to get you nice and ready for 2027. Oh, that's incredible, number 9. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to wish you a happy new year. And yeah, may this be your best year yet. You will make it so. And I wish I had time to say this in every single group. But I wanted to just say that use this as just a guideline for planning, for ideas, a little bit of structure. You know, we're making the abstract visible, and it's kind of like looking at a timetable, but a lot of people will have a different year. You know, we do different things, and we work in the now, we work with free will, we work with God. There's so much, you know. So this is just, it's like we just looked up a little timetable of possibilities, but life is vast and far more complicated than just looking up one or two of these things. Guys, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you next time.